Welcome back. So glad that you joined me. How often is it that we really think about how much we need to stop and take a break? Now, for a lot of us, that just sounds like nonsense. We can be able to do whatever we need. We can push the limits. We can do this. We can do that. Too often, we don't realize the limits of our bodies until we go through major events. And even then, sometimes our minds and our bodies aren't fully connecting with the reality of what's really going on in the need to stop and rest. As we look at the world around us, people keep saying, well, you can push, you can do this, you can do that, you don't need limits. But nature itself continues to teach us that it's okay to stop, it's okay to rest. Even looking out at the stars, every 7 days, according to astronomers, even the universe stops and takes a rest. Not that everything goes quiet, but there's a stillness, there's a peace that really can't be explained in our words and in our timing. What we do know is this, is that God has an amazing plan, and he tells us several things. Number one, he tells us continually to worship him because he is our God. He is our creator. Number two, he says, listen, I know your boundaries. I know your limits. I know, let's throw this word out, I know your margin. And because of this, I know how far you're able to go where you shouldn't be going and that you need to stop and rest. I'm so thankful that even before anything ever was, God put a day set aside for us to rest. Not just for our rest, but for us to focus solely on Him. So often we think about this day of rest and we go, okay, this is 1 and 7. But we forget that day 1 through 6 is supposed to lead into day 7, that is the pinnacle of everything going on. We are to live a lifestyle of worship that continues to pinnacle on the 7th day of the week, which from the Bible stance is called the 7th day, the Sabbath day, which when we look at our calendars even today, we see that named as Saturday, even though even in other languages it still has the name of Sabbath. God gave us this day for a reason, and he wants us to continually to remember this. Our verse today comes to us from Genesis chapter 2. In verse 3, it says this, Then God blessed the 7th day and sanctified it, because in it he rested from all his work which God had created and made. It's amazing as we take a look at the creation account. The way that it's ordered from the original language, it goes like this. It says day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. There's no names in those 6 days. But when it comes to the 7th day, the language changes and it says the 7th day, the Sabbath, noting that this is a very important day that God has given us so that we're able more fully to rest in Him. Now, as we continue to study God's Word, as we continue to seek to know Jesus better, let's remember this day. Let's remember that He's given us this day not just for worship, but connecting more fully together as we continue to grow together in Him. Thank you again for joining me. I look forward to seeing you next time as we continue to study God's Word together. God bless.